Grand Enchantment Day 28. It's getting harder and harder to remember which number I'm on. So I am just finishing up the alternate to the alternate. So instead of taking the high country, I took the high country bypass. And instead of going through the drainages, I took another alt, which it sounded like from the people I bumped into, everyone's doing anyway, which follows the ridge instead of the drainages. So I'm headed back down to the drainage now on my alt of the alt, and I'm heading back down to the West Fork, and it's going to be the official Grand Enchantment Trail at that point. The other alt, the original alt, has already joined it, so I'm going to head down there, going to leave this nice pine forest and meadow, and today is going to be a day of fords. I'm just going to have my feet wet all day. Leaving this beautiful scene. I have to drop a lot of elevation to get down to the West Fork. You know, it's kind of brisk and cold up here. It's like 8,000 feet. I'm a little ways into my descent down to the West Fork of the Gila River, and I finally come to an area where I can see the full scale of this descent. That is a long way down. This in front of me is the trail junction sign, so I am not going there. That's where I just came from. I am going... There's nothing in this direction. Well, I'm going this way. I'm going down the West Fork Trail towards the Gila Cliff Dwellings National Monument. I think I dropped almost 1,000 feet of elevation since I got out of camp this morning, and you can tell it's actually much warmer down here. So this first section is fairly forested. There's only a couple of fords of the Gila River, but after that it's going to be Ford City. So Eagle Creek was like 50 plus fords. This one is supposedly 60 plus fords. Go big or go home. This pleasant little meadow and no burned trees. This beautiful site is my second ford of the day. So it's coming over here. It's a little narrower right there. So I'm not going to actually film me splashing through it, but that's going to be my day. Ford, 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 ford. The trail actually went up in elevation. It's kind of going up and over the river right now, the fork of the river. Well, let me pan this way. Getting really, really good views on the other side of the canyon, and it sounds loud down there. I'm really curious what the fords are going to be like when this section finishes. Yeah, I'd say there's more flow here. Typically when you go downstream, the flow gets larger because tributaries and stuff have joined. The deepness and the swiftness usually depend on how wide the channel is. So this is the crossing right here. Looks like it has been eroded a little bit, but yeah, it's the widest part of at least this section. And then of course there's that pool up there. It's going to be deeper. So that crossing was a little over the knees at its deepest part, and I'm pretty early on in this. I'm just going to continue downstream. I should be lucky though. A couple weeks ago this trail wasn't doable at all because the Gila was raging. So the Grand Enchantment Trail hikers had to go back up to that ridge that I just came down from and take it for the duration of this canyon. I finally found a trail sign that actually has an arrow pointed in the direction I'm going. It says Cliff Dwellings, 12 miles this way. Still in this beautiful forested area. The forests here down at the Gila are not unburnt. I've definitely walked through some burned areas. Looks like this may have been singed. I have a layer on my Gaia app that tells me kind of recent fires, and I was looking through a section, and there's one section along the Gila that's been burned like 3 times in the last 20 years. Oh, look at this. We're not quite done with our wildflowers yet. Whole bunch of lupin right here. And then little yellow guys over here. These guys. This is definitely a burn area though. Look at this. So the canyon has narrowed and I am in the 50 ford section. So there's a couple fords and then there's this section with a lot of fords and then it ends with a couple fords too. But look at these canyon walls. That is so cool. All those spires. Look at this little scene mid-ford. That gave me a wide zoom. Look at this. So something I want to point out is it kind of looks like the best area to ford changes each year. So if I go back to regular zoom, there's a cairn over there because that's the trail. But you can see there's that little like waterfall there. It's deep and swift. So I actually came all the way back here to where the rocks are shallower and have crossed there. So each ford I think is going to take a little bit of time to figure out. Ford, 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 snake, ford. Sometimes you're so busy staring at where to put your feet, you forget to look up. This place is gorgeous. Now in between the fords there is trail. Sometimes it's forest like here. Sometimes it's cobbly stones. Sometimes it's flood debris. Ah. Look at these spires. That is amazing. That's so cool. I love the trail sections where you encounter the tall pines. You know what I like even better than the sections that go through pines? The sections that go through lupin and pines. I'm on a section that climbs away from the river for a little bit. I'm gonna move forward a little bit. And it gives you a really nice view of the geology of these canyon walls. Maybe a little bit more forward. Try to get the trees out of the way. Look at this. That's really, really cool. Just checking in again. Still fording. For the most part, the trails in between the fords have been pretty good, but you can definitely see there's been some storm damage. That's the trail on the other side there. There was one that was actually really scary to scramble around. But again, for the most part, they've been good. There's just a couple obstacles here. Still fording. Still gorgeous. Sun's getting low along those cliffs, and I am still fording. Currently in the process of setting up camp on a wash with the silkiest, softest sand I think I've ever felt. I'm only maybe a mile or two away from Gila cliff dwellings. And that was a successful and fun day. Exhausting though. The trails in between the fords were, for the most part, good. Downstream there was some damage, but I was able to make great time on most of them. And then out of the 60 plus fords, I think I only have 2 or 3 left. I'm almost done with those. They are tiring though, because it is resistance training. You are fighting a current in the water on slippery rocks. So a little tired, but tomorrow gonna play tourist at the cliff dwellings and then go do my resupply town chores in Gila Hot Springs.